Vampires are back, and we are being blessed with some incredible vampire media, like the Interview with the Vampire TV series starring Sam Reed and Jacob Anderson. Ugh, incredible. And last Christmas, we were blessed with Nosferatu, which has haunted me every single day since. And with that, there's been a lot of new vampire books on the shelves, so I thought I would put together a list of new and old vampire books to add to your fall reading list because it is the best time of the year officially. So let's go over what I've got. Let's start with Blood on Her Tongue. This is unlike anything I've read before. This is set in 1800s Netherlands, and it is about two sisters. One receives a letter that is kind of concerning from her sister, who has now recently become obsessed with a body she found in the bog, and she's not really acting like herself. So she rushes to her side to see how she's doing, and the answer is not well. This is very gory. It's really got a lot of disgusting body horror, and if you are a gross girl like me, you will absolutely love this. I've never really read many books set in the Netherlands, so this was amazing to see and just so interesting. I love stories about sisterhood, and yeah, the vampire spin on this was such a fresh take. It almost doesn't even seem like a vampire book, but the author did intend for it to be vampires, so I absolutely love this. I thought this was so fun and so fresh, so definitely check this one out, and look how cool the pages of this book are. I also have Carmilla, the OG vampire story. This actually came out about 25 years before Dracula, and it is a short little novella. It is about a girl who is kind of lonely, and a carriage has an accident outside of her home, and she takes in, or her family takes in this other little girl, and they become friends, but she starts to notice that this little girl is kind of different and has a kind of a dark side to her. I just love classic horror. I love to see the origins of where these things stem from, and I really enjoyed this. Of course, I have A Dowry of Blood. This is about the brides of Dracula, and it is such a haunting, lyrical, atmospheric, beautiful story. It is written as a love letter and also a goodbye letter from the first bride of Dracula, because she's tired of his shit. She is ready to move on, but she still has complicated feelings for him, and she also has complicated, romantic, beautiful feelings about the other brides as well. This is just such a stunning story, and I don't know, this one, I did kind of wish there was a little bit more to the story, but the writing style just is so beautiful and captivating that I just fell right into this, and I would love another story like this. If you know any, let me know. I also want to recommend Hungerstone. This is a Carmilla retelling, so it is a little bit of a longer story. It is kind of the same story as Carmilla but aged up, and it really goes into a lot more depth of how women in the Victorian era were so stifled by their husbands and society, and how this main character, she just wanted things. She had desires, and she wanted to feel wanted, and she wanted to feel powerful, in control of something. And so this was just also really really lyrically written and very beautifully written. I love anything with like very strong prose and beautiful prose, and this definitely was that. But if you're looking for like a more elegant, aged up Carmilla, this is such an amazing story. I also want to recommend House of Hunger. This is about a girl who moves to the upper echelon of society to become a blood maid. this is kind of like a steampunk world. It's a little bit Victorian, but it's its own world. And in this world, there are people who are sick. They are suffering from ailments that only blood can help them to survive. They don't quite use the word vampire. So she moves to become a blood maid for a wealthy aristocrat. Turns out that there are some evil things lurking in the background, and this was giving like Lady Bathory vibes. You know, the woman that used to bathe in the blood of virgins. This reminded me kind of like a Lady Bathory retelling, and it was just such an interesting, unique vampire story. I really loved this. Then we've got the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This is Grady Hendrix. His stuff is like a horror comedy, and I just love it. I've read most of his stuff. It's like Goosebumps for adults. And this is about a book club in the South of stay-at-home moms, and this man moves into the neighborhood, and at first they're kind of intrigued by him until one of the moms starts to realize there's something kind of weird about him, and she wants to protect the children of the neighborhood. She wants to protect her friends, and she's really, really nosy. It's also set in the 80s, so it's just like that perfect like 80s Southern moms in a smutty book club trying to fight a vampire. I loved this. This was so fun. I've also got Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. This is the first book that I've read by him, and I loved it. This is Rosemary's Baby meets vampires, and honestly, that is a dream come true. I love Rosemary's Baby, and I love vampires, so this was perfect. This is about a couple who doesn't have a ton of money, and they were lucky enough to get into their dream apartment. Unfortunately, it is on one of the highest floors, and after an injury giving birth, the main character is a little bit concerned about being so high up, but her husband wants to live there so bad, and you know, that's what happens when you follow a man up a bunch of flights of stairs. All hell breaks loose. But I absolutely loved this. This was such a fun read, but it also touched on a lot of societal issues, and I think he just had such a fresh perspective on like a classic tale, so highly recommend this. I also have Salem's Lot. I did really like this. I love Stephen King, but sometimes his writing is 50-50 for me. I'll be really loving it, and then he'll throw a random sentence in that I'm just like, why did you have to say that? He used the word jahoobies twice on the same page to describe a woman's boobs, so I didn't love that part. But you know what? He wrote it in the 70s, whatever. I'll let it pass. Don't do it again, Stephen King. Please don't use the word jahoobies again. But this is about a writer who moves to this town that he had lived in for a little bit when he was younger, and he's there to write about this house, this allegedly haunted house, and there's an antique dealer that moves into town as well, and things start to get kind of weird. People start to die pretty abruptly, and then people in the town are popping up as vampires and trying to lure other townspeople out of their homes one by one, and all hell breaks loose. This is a classic. It's fun. There's a new movie that came out last year that was pretty fun, and then the old movie's really fun as well. It's not my favorite vampire tale of all time, but I did really enjoy it, and the book was really fun. So anyway, that's all that I have for now, but if you liked these recommendations, let me know what you want to see next. I love gothic fiction, classics, I love horror of all kinds. Fall is my favorite time to read, and it is just the best time of the year, so I cannot wait to keep reading, and thank you for watching.